Morning everyone, it's nice to virtually meet you all. Obviously you know who I am. I'm Melanie Kant from Marketing Solutions, and I've had my own business for 4 years now. I have to say that I use RocketSpark as my website design platform, although there is many other design platforms out there, you know, WordPress, Squarespace, Wix. But RocketSpark is probably more commonly known within the accountancy world, because the reason I came across it for about, well over a decade, I've worked within the accountancy arena, doing marketing and the likes, and I met the guys from RocketSpark at a Xero roadshow. So RocketSpark websites integrate with Xero. So it's fantastic if you need an e-commerce website that integrates. If you use Xero, it'll integrate with Xero. So any purchases that are done through the website will drop through to Xero. And obviously it helps with efficiencies with bookkeeping and things like that. Although we're not going to be going into that's going to be a little bit more complex to what we're going to be talking about today. Yeah. But if anyone, I noticed that someone had mentioned that he was looking to sell online. It's something I can talk to you after the event if you want to get in touch. So I think to start with, if anyone can, just based on just sort of extending what Stephen had said, if there's anyone who is on this webinar and wants specific or is here for a specific reason in terms of their frustrations with regard to websites, or they've never had a website before, let me know what those reasons are, so I'll try and cover them throughout the morning. Because there's nothing more frustrating if you attend a 2-hour webinar and the host doesn't cover what you're actually there for. So I'm just going to start off. It's a live demonstration. I don't anticipate any technical glitches. So we're just going to dive anymore. So I'm just going to dive straight in. I know that I'm going to be covering uploading logos with your logo, uploading images, what alt tags are and the importance of using alt tags within your images, adding content to a RocketSpark website, using the forms within the RocketSpark website platform, how to link your social media to your website. I think this is really, really important. Social media is, to me, just an extra way to cast your net a little bit further to get extra footfall to your website. Then we'll look at adding video content. We'll look at the basics of SEO and keywords, and I'll show you how to add extra pages, although that's not something we're not going to do in terms of, I'm not going to add extra pages and start working on extra pages today. However, I'm quite happy to have a chat with anyone after with regard to their personal circumstances and what they're looking for in a website. So I'm just going to try and share my screen here.
Yes. I will leave you to crack on, and Melanie, have a good one, and everybody.
Thank you very much. Yeah, brilliant. So here we go. Right, okay, so prior to this morning, I'm assuming that some of you have actually Googled RocketSpark. If you haven't, obviously I've just given you a little bit of an overview of what RocketSpark is. It's actually an award-winning platform. It's come out of New Zealand. Like I said, it integrates with Xero. It came out in New Zealand pretty much at the same time as Xero did, and that's where Xero originated from. The way I look at it is they've got to be pretty much up there in terms of capability and performance in order to be a part of the Xero ecosystem. And one of the main reasons I use it for is because anyone who's come to me for a website is usually because they have frustrations with their own website, whether it's on like WordPress or Wix or like I said, Squarespace. And after I've designed and launched each website, and I do a little bit of training with my clients, every single one has said they can't believe how simple it is to use. It's been designed with the end user in mind, so there's no code needed. It's very self-explanatory, so therefore it's been very, very well received. So it's been my platform of choice. A lot of my clients as well has come to me and said, well, I have got a website, but I haven't used it for over a year because A, I don't know how to use it, or B, it costs a lot of money to go back to my designer each time to have it updated. So this is another benefit of using the Rocket Spark website. You do get, there is training videos, so you can actually obviously work through it. And the only time it would get a little bit more technical, and that would be with any website platform, is as soon as you start using e-commerce within the site as well. So here we go. Just wondering if everyone can hear me all right. Right, I'm assuming everyone can hear me all right. So unless I get told otherwise, I'll just continue on. Okay, so if you sign onto a Rocket Spark website from scratch, this is what you'll receive. This is what you'll see. Now, to get to this part, all you need to do is Google Rocket Spark. I'm just going to move that out of the way. Click on free trial. And you can sign up for a 30-day free trial there. So once you've actually completed that, this is what your screen will look like. It will give you access to your website, or the back end of your website. So this is just generic back end of what a Rocket Spark website looks like. You'll notice at the top we're in dashboard mode, but you can have it in editor mode, which we'll go into next, in preview mode. So if I click that into editor mode, what I'll do is a little template. Now there's quite a few templates. Spark. It is, as a design partner, what I would do is obviously start from scratch. But as you're not a design partner, it's really helpful to have these templates to give you some design ideas. So here we go. So at the moment, it's just picked a generic one with a horse, but it gives you some other options here. And there's quite a few to choose from, and it'll also give you some content examples as well. But just for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to click on this sort of design, because I'm going to design a one-page website for a mixologist. I think we're all in a position at the moment where perhaps we'll have the odd tipple on a night time. I know at the moment my gin intake on a night time's gone up slightly. Actually, guys, if anyone can hear us from Digital Drive, it would be helpful. Oh, hiya. It would be helpful if I could actually hear some of the participants, because at the moment I can't hear anyone. I feel as if I'm just talking to myself.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can certainly do that, but obviously it'll be up to the participants if they want to obviously speak on the microphone.
Yeah, I'll just tell them to mute themselves, and if they want to, if there's any pressing sort of question that they have, then I don't mind, just dealing with that as and when.
a few of the, I think there's a bit of a problem with seeing what's on your dashboard, Melanie, as well.
Right, okay then. Can you see what's on my dashboard?
I can only see the initial "Hi Melanie" screen, and then it's kind of glitching out into.
Right.
So I think it's a bit of an issue with the screen share.
Right, okay then. Let me just.
Might be worth taking off and maybe just trying it again.
Yeah, no problem. Is that better, guys? Can you see that?
That does look better. Yeah, can you try clicking into something, Melanie, just to see whether or not it's kind of glitching still, or if it's kind of all right?
Right, okay.
Does it seem to be like a weird sort of lag to it?
Can you see that?
I can only see the your local bookkeeper screen.
Right, okay, then let me try again.
We now want you kind of your dashboard, like your home screen.
Well, we've been a bit unlucky with the start of this, haven't we? Right, let's have a go. Can you see the 30-day free trial here?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So I think what I might have to do is every time I open a new screen is obviously keep on sharing it. So we'll try that. So, right, I'm just going to start from the beginning, assuming that, you know, you missed this bit. If anyone is looking on how to start to create a Rocket Spark website, you can actually Google Rocket Spark, and they offer a 30-day free trial, which looks like this. Can you still see that, Stephen?
Yes, we can see the 30-day trial, yeah.
Right, okay, so it's quite self-explanatory. You just fill out this section here. Once you've completed that,
that does look better now.
does it? Right,
yeah.
Okay.
Is
it just you, or is it other people as well?
No, the guys in chat are saying that they can see it. So
right, okay, then that's good. Perhaps it's just settled down. Okay, so once you've actually signed up for the free trial, this is what the back end of the website looks like. So can you see that where it says "Hi Melanie"?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay then. So I'm not gonna bamboozle you with everything that's going on the back end at the moment, because we'll touch on this as we're going through the design of your website. But if you click on edit, these three buttons at the top is probably what I'll use quite a lot. I'll just turn it into editor mode. I'll keep on checking in with you, Stephen. Can you see that?
Yes, I can see that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's automatically asking me if I'll just go back to the templates actually, in case anyone missed the templates. Right, okay then, so, sorry, I'm going to skip this. I will get into a flow. Right, okay, at the beginning, you will get asked if you want to use the template. As a website designer, I actually build them from scratch. However, if you're not a website designer, these templates are quite handy for you to have a look at. For design reasons, for content reasons. Obviously, I'm assuming there's no website designers on here, so it's really handy to have a look through what templates are available to see if the structure of them and perhaps some of the content might be suitable for your website. So for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to pick this one, which is the M&C bookkeeping template, and I'm going to save that. Can you still see that, Stephen?
Yes, I can see that, yeah.
Right, okay then.
Yeah, it seems to be looking okay.
It sorted itself out. Right, I'm pleased. Okay, so obviously this isn't your website, but it is a template. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a play around with it and make it look a bit more your website. For demonstration purposes, if you missed it before, I'm going to design a website for a mixologist. Inspiration has come from drinking a little bit more gin these days on a night time after a stressful day at work in the conservatory. Right, okay, so I created a logo, but you don't have to have a logo. If you're really designing a website on a budget and you haven't got a logo, you can just type in the name of your business there. So obviously it's picked up that I've registered this under Digital Drive, so it's actually put in Digital Drive here. But as an alternative, what you can do is you can upload a logo. Now I'm going to pick one that I created last night. Here we go, example logo. Okay, so it's automatically added that into the website for you, and it prompts you, it asks if you want to resize your logo, and it gives you like obviously the option to make it bigger or smaller. I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller. But you notice to the right of the logo gives you an option where the menu bar, you can actually play around with the size of it there. So you can, just have a play whether you want it a little bit bigger or a little bit, narrower there. You'll also notice that it's got quite a few tabs in the menu bar at the moment. We're only going to design we're going to concentrate on the home page, the one page. So what I'm going to do is save that. Here we go. So we've got the logo there ready for you to make a start. And I think actually if you've got a nice logo with some colours in, it's nice to just pick out one or two of the colours within the logo for the design through the website. For your brand continuity for one of the reasons, but for a second, it's nice to just have that continuity of your brand to the website. Try not to pick too many colours. I try to go for perhaps one or two, because otherwise your website just becomes a little bit sort of like a rainbow, and it just really takes away from that clean design. Also, the image just directly below that is what you call your feature image, and you'll notice that throughout the website you'll have these little pencil sort of boxes. If you hover over the pencil boxes, what that means is that it's editable. So what we're going to do is we're just going to click on that pencil box there, and it opens up a column to the left hand side. At the moment it's telling you that the heading there is says your local bookkeeper. I'm just going to take that out of there because obviously we're not designing a website for bookkeepers. And I'm going to delete this About Us button for the time being. And it shows you what images are on the feature page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the image because obviously that's not suitable for a mixologist. So let's have a look. I feel like Blue Peter presenter saying here's the one I've prepared earlier. So I'm not sure if anyone knows, but there is like free image banks out there, as well as, the popular ones like Adobe. For this website example, I actually downloaded these images from a website called Unsplashed. They have a bank of free images that have been uploaded by photographers. So just a little tip there for you. So there we go. So we've got an image there. We don't need the second slide below, but what I'm going to do is I'm for demonstration purposes, I'm actually going to add that image again, and I'll explain why. Right. The reason why I've uploaded the same image twice is because it's on a slide, and if I add some wording, we don't want the same text for both slides. Activate per slide content. Oops. Sorry, now I'm having technical difficulties on my side. Here we go. Here we go. Right. So for my heading, what shall I put? Something like bar management. Oh. Bar management consulting services, and the blurb underneath, I'll just put delivering fine drinking experiences. Now, to me, that looks far too big. Some of you might like that, but I don't particularly like that. So within the design box on the left-hand side, where it says style, if you click on that and then click on view all options, it actually gives you some options of how you can actually design your image area. So we're going to have a look at text style, and at the moment the heading bit, the bit that says bar management consultant services, is rather big. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to shrink that down just by using this this box. I'll just change that down to 30, and the blurb, just pop that down to 25, so it's a little bit smaller there. So if you're happy with that, you can save that. I'm just going to go back to the design area, and we can save that. But before I save that, I'm going to go on to the next image, the one below, and I'm going to put something like cocktail bar hire. And I'm going to save that. Now, when we preview your website, what will happen is that the image will appear to move from side to side. So the wording will actually fade out. So it will start off saying bar management consultant services, and that'll phase it out, and then it'll actually show cocktail bar hire like that. Can you see that, Stephen?
Yes, I can see that fine, Melanie.
Yeah, okay then, great. I'll just keep on checking in just to make sure that you can see it. Okay then.
Yeah, that's no worries.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay. So another thing about the feature area, if you click on that little the little pencil, you'll see this little, it's like a little color wheel, and it's just another quick I guess link to be able to edit your feature area within the website. Once we've got everything on the website that we need, I'll show you how to mobile optimize, because at the moment what we're doing is we're looking at it from a desktop point of view. But I'm sure you can see how easy it is to use from an end user's perspective. I know I've used, like I say, many website platforms before, and this one by far is the easiest to update and to also like train my customers on how to use. Okay. Also within the feature area, I'll not be able to touch on everything, but I'll certainly try and cover as much as possible. But from a design point of view, there's other things that you can add. So you can add a text background. So if if we wanted to, we can, I don't know if you can see there, but the text background is a little bit darker, so it actually just highlights the wording. At the moment it's in black, and you have the option to actually fade out the can't even see it, fade it out, or actually make it more of a block colour, or you can change it. Have a look, change the colour in the background. I'm not going to use an orange, but you could change it to a white. If you don't like any of those colours. Ooh. You can change it. There's loads of different colours you can choose from. You can have a play around with a spectrum of colours there, but for demonstration purposes, actually, I quite like the black. And I'm just going to fade it out a little bit.
Melody, Adam's just asking how easy is it to upload video clips?
Very easy, Adam, and I'm going to come to that in a moment. What you need to do is have a YouTube channel, and that's free to obviously to create. And then I'll show you how you can just quickly add a link from one to the other, and it's really straightforward.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so feature image is I'm quite happy with that, but a couple of other things I want to mention. Obviously the wording within the feature image, you can move it left, right, center. You've also got a bar at the side where you can move it up or down, so you can have a play around with where you want it within obviously the feature image. The only thing I haven't mentioned is what you call a button, and this is quite handy when you've got a few pages on your website, because what you could put on here where it says button, we want it to go to a page called services, and you can save it, and we could type in there view our services. When you save that, you've got a button on the front page of your website. So as a touch point first off, and it's bright orange in this case, you can have it any color you want, just by going into style, view all options, button styling. At the moment, the button color is orange. I'm going to change it to a gray color. Not because I like it, but just so I can show you what it would look like. And just save it. I'm going to play around with that again. Just move it down so it's a little bit more central. So there you go. Has anyone got any questions about what I've covered so far? Is anyone confused and wants me to go over, you know, anything again, or?
One of the questions that's come through, Melanie, is from Karen. Just resize logos before upload.
Yeah, you can. The way I resize logos is on a platform called Canva. I mean, I can have a chat with her a little bit more about that, because obviously logos do come in all shapes and sizes. This one's just a generic one that I've just downloaded. I didn't actually make it. I just stole it from Canva, to be honest with you. But you can actually do that. So I'm not sure what if she, like I say, if she wants to talk to me more about that, then I'm quite happy. I'll quite happily have a chat with her at the end. And I'll leave my email address, so if anyone wants to contact me direct, I'm quite happy to have like a free half-an-hour chat with someone over the phone, or another demonstration which is specific to them. Yeah, yeah. Any more questions about logos and about the feature image area?
That's it so far, I think.
So far, right? Brilliant. That's what I like to hear. Okay, so the way the website is actually designed is, if you can imagine building blocks in stacks. So you've got your building blocks and you stack them on top of each other. To give an example, what I'm going to do is just, this has got like template information in. I'm just going to take it out. So below your feature image, if you hover just below, it'll automatically come up a prompt saying, do you want to add a stack? So on the left hand side, it opens up another area. So it'll give you like layouts to add in blocks to and stacks. Okay, so here we go. At the moment, we've got, let's have a look. We'll have a 2-column stack. And within each one, where the little plus sign is, you can click on it and it automatically prompts you what do you want within that block. Now, what I'm going to do for demonstration purposes is that I'm going to add an image. So you can see how quickly it would upload an image. And this image I got from the website that I mentioned previously called Unsplashed. If you don't like the size of the image, because obviously we don't want the image that big, you can actually click on the little pencil. It gives you the option to, you can either move it up and down to adjust, like so, or you can actually zoom in and out so until you get the image at the size that you want. And then just once you're happy with it, you can save it. What we can also do is we can add a title text to the image. So the main title for this one, I'll call Cocktail Bar Hire. Now, if you notice, you can just see it coming up there, Cocktail Bar Hire, but we don't want it to show up there, or at least I don't. So if you click on Style and View All Options, it shows you where the little green tick is that's the way it's presented at the moment, but we don't want that. We want to be able to see it. So it gives you some options. It asks, do you want your Cocktail Bar Hire wording to be at the bottom or the middle? You can see the different design options that you've got there. Now, I personally am going to go for this one. It looks as if it's got nothing in there, but I'll explain why it hasn't. At the moment, Cocktail Bar Hire is in white, and the title is just running along there, but you can't see it because it's in white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color of the title to black, so it shows up there. It also gives you an option to change the font size, and also gives you the option to change actually the font design. Throughout the website, I'm just going to be using Railway Regular, but there is just a huge bank of different fonts that you can play around with there. And obviously it gives you the option to change any subtitle font as well. But for the time being, we're just going to use Railway. Quite happy with the size at the moment. I'm going to go back to the image. And I'm going to save it. Oh, and it hasn't worked. Try again. Title text, Cocktail Bar Hire. Style, View All Options, color, that's right. I'm just going to refresh the page because sometimes if the internet's a little bit slow, it doesn't, oh, it hasn't worked there. Try again. Oh, it showed up in the middle. 2 ticks. It's going to prove me wrong here. Style, View All Options. Oh, because it's jumped back to the original setting. Oh, lordy lord, come on. I could do with the gin now. Style. View all options. I clicked on the wrong one. Oh, I have. It's my fault. Oh. Excuse, this doesn't usually happen. I don't know if you can see, but it says it's at the top now. So this is just completely, this is, let's have a look. Title text. Let's try this once more. View all options. Come on. Here we go. That's right. Hey, it's worked. Right, here we go. So we've got cocktail bar hire. So for the second image, I'm gonna put this one in, I think. That's uploaded quite quickly. And oh, again, I'm just going to adjust the image. So if I click on the little pencil, it gives me an option. I'm just going to reduce it a little bit. Oh. Right. Okay, so initial thoughts are there is that the images aren't the same size, which is right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a play around with what options are available to me in terms of design wise. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of blurb about what the cocktail hire involves, and also perhaps on the second image we'll have a bartender for hire. So I'm not happy with them being side by side, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another stack, and let's have a look. Actually, what you can do, there's a shortcut here. Can you see that little, it's like a little copy stack button. If you click on that, it asks you if you want to copy what we've already done to this page or to another page. So we can copy it to this page. So we now have identical stacks, one above the other. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to delete that one there because we don't need it anymore. And I'm going to just move that image over. So to move anything over, you just click on the little cross in the middle, and you can move it from block to block. I'll take that one out there. Now also, I'm not quite happy with the height of this, and also the two sort of block areas. So I'm going to go back into this little edit layout button on the right hand side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the layout to, I think this is going to look a little bit better. So I've got a smaller image on the left hand side, and then I can add a little bit of blurb to the right. So I'm going to do the same with the stack below. And also I'm going to play around with the image. So yeah, that looks about the same size. So to me that looks a lot better, and it gives me the option to add some content within these blocks here. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is add a title to this image to say bartender hire. And because we've copied one stack to it and copied the stack, it's automatically putting in the image title where the one above is. Can you see that, Stephen?
Yes, you can see that now.
Yeah. Although I didn't save it, so it hasn't pulled it through. 2 ticks. Yay. Right. Okay then. Has anyone got any questions about images so far before I go on to the content here?
There's nothing further come up just yet, Melanie.
Right, that's fine. That's no news is good news. Yeah, brilliant. Right, okay. So to the right of the image, what I'm going to do is click on the block, and you'll notice that it gives quite a few options of what we can put in within this block. We can just add some text, which I'll show you in a moment. We can add what you call a big heading. Now, a big heading is what search engines see within your website, and they interpret it as being the most important information on that page. So if you've got a few big headings, it's what the search engines will pick out on a Rocket Spark website. Also, you've got buttons, which is similar to the button on the feature image, which I'll show you in a second. We've got an email form, we've got video, which I'll touch on in a minute. So we've got a few different options that we can use. All I would say, guys, is that after this webinar, if you log on to and take advantage of the free trial, you can play around with the content within the blog, and just have a good play with it. I will send a video for you to have a look at, which will explain in a little bit more detail various areas of the design features within Rocket Spark. But again, if anyone has any questions afterwards or a later date, then please feel free to get in touch. Quite happy to answer any questions or help anyone if I can. So for demonstration purposes, I'm gonna add some text. So I'm just gonna add in a cocktail bar here again, because obviously this is a service that we provide, and I'm just gonna put something bespoke. Bespoke bar hire for your event. I'll not put in too much there, but you can see how easy it is to actually add content. Now, if you're not happy with at the moment, it's set, the header colors are set to the template, the original template colors. So I'm not happy with that color because it doesn't, it's got nothing to do with the brand. So I'm just going to change the content color there, the heading. So if you hover over the color wheel on the right hand side of that stack, it'll tell you that one of the stack will be updated. So all it's telling you there is that whatever you edit in terms of color wise or font size or font type, it will sort of adjust the one below because it's linked to that in terms of design. And we're happy with that because we do want, obviously, that continuity. It's efficient if it just does it for you. So I'm going to have a look at the headings and paragraphs here. And so at the moment, it's got this lovely orange colour in. If you actually just hover over these boxes, can you see on the right-hand side, the way it says cocktail bar hire, it actually prompts which section you need to update. Can you see that, Stephen?
Yes, we can see
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Actually, it's got a question come in as well, Melanie. Just asking what the normal cost would be for designing a website. I know that's quite a bespoke thing, but
yeah, it is. All I'd say is actually I'm quite transparent with my prices. So if you have a look on my website, which is www.almarketingsolutions.co.uk, it'll give you an idea of how much websites costs with me. for a 5-page website. Off the top of my head, I'm sure it's $5.95, which, do you know what, isn't a great deal. But again, if anyone has any questions after this, then I'm quite happy to have a chat with them.
Really good price, to be fair.
Well, yeah, it is. I'm very transparent with my prices, and some people say I don't charge enough, but I think it's enough for a 5-page website. Right. Anyway, so we're not happy with that color, so I'm going to change that color. I'm going to change it to a black. Close. Oh, I've hovered over the wrong one. Sorry. So I'm going to change it to a black. So it's automatically changed it on the right hand side there. Yep. But also, if you wanted to change the headings to a different font, you could actually perhaps change, for demonstration purposes, change that to a more of a bold color, so it sort of stands out. I'll leave that like that for now. So we're happy with that. So I'm just going to save the changes. It will automatically change that for you. And the one below, I'm just going to add something very similar to bartender hire, and type in prices start from £25 per hour. Okay, so you get the general sort of idea with that. Again, actually, what you can do to differentiate the different backgrounds on your website, you can add in images in the background. So if you click on your little color wheel there, it gives you loads of different design options on the left hand side. So what I'm going to do is have a look at the stack background. So the stack background at the moment is a white color. If I wanted to change it to a block color, I could maybe change it to, let's have a look. Yeah, it's a bit too dark. It's a lighter gray. Or if I wanted to get really funky, I could change it to a different color on the color wheel and have a play with sort of the different strengths of the color. See what I mean? That's a bit revolting, that one. So I'm just going to go back to perhaps a light grey colour. Here you go. I'm going to save the change. Well, before I save the changes, I'll give you another option actually, because this is quite groovy. You can upload a picture in the background, and I'm just going to upload, say, for instance, the Digital Drive logo. No, I'm going to put the Mixologist logo in the background. Right, okay, so that looks not very good at the moment, doesn't it? So what I'm going to do is just actually zoom out a little bit. So you've just got it very faintly in the background. And at the moment it asks you the vertical position where at the moment it's featured sort of in the middle of that stack. So you could change it so it's at the top. You can't see it. Well, you can just see a little line part of it there at the bottom. Or you can change it to the bottom. Or this is my favorite feature at the moment, parallax. So what that means is, I'm going to save that. When you move see what happens? When you move the website up and down, the logo stays there in the background throughout. I've had some great fun playing around with this recently, and I'm on doing a beautician's website, and we've got some really nice branding effects going on in the background. But it's something quirky, it's something design-wise can make your website stand out. without costing a fortune and design. But like I say, it's my favorite feature at the moment. If you obviously, if you don't want that, we could just stick to different colors, or between different services. What we can do, if you click on add a stack and scroll down, we can just add a line. So it's added like a gray line there. So if you've seen, it'll just I'll put it in preview mode so you can see a little bit better there. Just stop me at any time, Stephen, if obviously I'm frightened in case this isn't working.
I will do, don't worry.
Yeah, okay. So you can see between services, you've got that little line there. So I'm going to put it back into editor mode. And I'm going to take the little line out for now if we're going to leave the mixologist logo in the background. So if you're not happy with any of the stacks that you've created within your website, what you can do is quite simply remove it by hitting on the little bin button on the right hand side. So you can see on the right hand side you've got your little colour wheel, which is the quick edit button. You can duplicate that stack, or you can delete the stack. So I'm just going to delete that. All I would say is be very careful if you've got a website and it's live and you're trying to change some content around and you delete. So it's quite easy to get mixed up between the different links on the right hand side. And I've had a client ring us before and said, oh, I've deleted the wrong stack. How do I get it back? The short answer is you can't. You would have to put it in again. But as a design partner, this is quite handy for me. Any website that I've designed, if there's areas that I don't want my client playing around with and they don't want to play around with it because it's got some content on there that they don't want to go missing, I can quite easily lock that design from this end. And it just means that they haven't got access to edit that little bit. So it's quite handy from a design point of view. So I'm just going to delete that little bit there. If I wanted to, I could add a little video, which obviously I'm going to go back to that earlier question that I had. I'm just going to take this out of here because this is just template stuff. So I'm going to add two blocks here. So on the left hand side, I'm going to demonstrate on how to add a video, and you'll be surprised at how easy it is. So the first thing you'll need to do is have a YouTube account. You can quickly create one if you haven't got one, quite easily, and it's free to do. And it's quite self-explanatory on how to upload a video to your YouTube account. If you can't fathom it out yourself, if you just have a look at a video on YouTube, it'll demonstrate how to do that. But again, if you're struggling, then it's something I'm quite happy to have a chat with you about. Now I hope this works. I'm just going to have I'm just going to go onto YouTube and pick a video. I'm sure the one that I was looking at last night was mixologist bartender. So let's keep it relevant. So can you still see that when I'm on YouTube, Stephen?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's no problem.
Right, okay.
If you give me just a few seconds, I want to share with you how these stupid little YouTube videos...
Oh, don't want that. Right, okay. This happened to me last night. Right, so if you click the share button, usually you get this small URL that you can copy and paste into the website. If that doesn't work, if you go to the top of the page here, that's the URL that we need anyway. So I'm just going to highlight it and copy it. So now I'm going to go back into the website and I'm going to click on the block on the left hand side, and it asks what would I like within that block. So I'm going to add a video. and it asks what the URL video of the video is. So I'm gonna paste it into there and save it. So there you have it. That's how quick you can actually add a video to your website. And if you're worried about the quality of the streaming, if you just press play, actually I'll put it in preview mode and then press play.
All five competitors really close to each other. From a sound perspective, this is super tight.
So videos, clarity wise, fantastic. Easiness to link it, absolutely. You know, my 13-year-old daughter could do it. It's so easy to do. Has anyone got any questions about adding a video that after seeing that?
There's nothing cropping up so far, Melanie.
Ah, right. Okay then.
No. Okay.
Yeah, I think actually it's a valid question, because I get that quite often when people come to me. They'll say, right, how easy is it to upload photos to my website, and how easy is it to add videos? And as you can see, as I've demonstrated, it's that easy. It's just so easy. So on the left hand side, I've got a video. We could actually put a little title above that video to say something. Let's have a look. So I've put it back into editor mode, and within that,
I was just asking, is there anything you do to speed upload on videos, or slow upload so it doesn't slow the website down?
Ah, right. Okay. Well, it doesn't. It's a good question. The way this has been done, it doesn't actually slow the website down because it's streamed from YouTube. It's not actually sat or embedded in the website, if you know what I mean. The website's not hosting the video, that's on YouTube. So I've never had any problems with speed.
What about how long it takes to upload them? How have you found that?
I've always found it when you've seen how quick it was to upload it today. If you're having issues, it could be just something to do with the your website, sorry, the speed of your internet, really.
Yeah.
I haven't had any issues at all.
I suppose it'd be affected as well, obviously, by the quality level of the video as well.
Yeah, that's true. Although I have come across people where they've actually done their own home sort of video, and they've uploaded it to YouTube and streamed it to the website, and it's been fine, really. Obviously, if you get a professional to do it for branding purposes, it looks a lot more professional. But if it's just a quick update to let everyone know about your new products or services, and it's a video of you, then again, it's always worked fine.
Yeah.
But if anyone, like I say, has any trouble or questions surrounding this at a later date, then please don't hesitate to get in touch. It is worth noting that I'm a RocketSpark Silver partner, which means I've actually obviously designed so many websites within the UK, and there is a few design partners within the UK. I think I'm the one furthest north, and there's like quite a few more. I think there might be one in the Leeds area. I'm not entirely sure about that, but certainly sort of further down south there's quite a few, but I'm sure I'm the furthest one north that I'm aware of. But there is a help, actually. There's a help section within the website itself. So if you have any questions, if you send it off to the support team, they're really quick in getting back to you. But I'm quite happy if you have any questions to give me a buzz direct or send me an email. I don't mind helping at all. So okay, so that's the video. So I'm just going to put a little title above it, and just quite simply maybe put a big heading, and I'll just put bartender for hire. So So it's automatically put that below the video. So we don't want it there. We want it above, or I want it above the video. So you just need to click on the little cross and move it up. It's as simple as that. And I don't like the size of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the headings and paragraphs. Again, you can see if you just gently scroll over the little color squares, you know which one you need to change. So I'm going to change that to, oh, what's happened there? I'm going to change that to a dark color. And I'm going to change the size of it down to 25. And I'm going to change that to a bold. Yeah. Actually, it's gone grey. I don't want grey, I want black. So you just simply change that, and I think that looks quite effective. So on the right hand side, in this block here, what I'm going to do is add a form. Okay, so to add a form to your website, it is really easy. You can add it. If you click on the block, again, it asks what do you want in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to add an email form. So it automatically gives you the option of using a contact form, which has 4 generic fields in. I'm just going to have a look at that. So if you click on that, you can see it's automatically added this contact form in. But this is generic, and it's not sort of tailored to the services required on this website. So what you can do, there's a few things you can do. If you click on the little pencil button, it takes you to the contact form itself. And we're going to change the name of it first of all, because if you have a few contact forms within your website, you might want to name them for specific services. And the reason why you might want to do that for is because when you get an email from that contact form, it'll say bartender contact form, so you know that whoever's contacted you is interested or come from the bartender page. So I'm just going to put for this one, again, from demonstration purposes, I'm going to put in services, and what I'm going to do, it's automatically given us some popular form requirements, so name, telephone number, email address, and a general message. But what you can do is tailor it to your specific needs or services. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a form field within that, and I'm going to add I'd like to know more about. And then on the right hand side, it gives you some options. So what I want is a drop down box. So I'm going to put in here a bartender service and add that. Or I'm going to add a bar hire service and add that. So if I save that and save the changes, your form is changed. So you've now got this little box at the bottom that says I'd like to know more about, and it says select, and you can click on bartender service or bar hire service. Now the design of the form can be changed quite easily, so I'm going to go back in again, and I'm going to change that I'd like to know more, so it's above the message section. I'm going to add another field which says please call me, and add a checkbox. and I'm going to move that above the message section as well. Okay, so I'm going to save that and update the form. So you'll notice in the form now, you've got the drop down section. So it gives you an option of to ask your prospective customer to share what they would like to know more about, but also a please call me or a call me back button. So if you click that, they're giving you the permission to give you a call back, to give them a call back to discuss the services that they might require. One other thing I am going to mention about forms, I'm going to go back into it. If you notice, there's some highlighted boxes here and it says required. So when you can tick any part of the form that you actually need the end user to complete before they can submit the form. So explained a little bit more clearly, if I unticked all of those and left the name, and the customer was trying to submit the form but left the name out, it would not submit until they put the name in. So it's quite handy. I always, if I'm wanting at least an email on there and a phone number, I'll leave those in so that if somebody's trying to submit a form, it will not submit until these sections are completed, and it'll actually show up an error response at their end to say you need to complete these sections before you can submit the form. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, great. So
Absolutely.
I'm just going to save the changes within the form section there. You'll notice that the little sort of send area at the bottom, again, it can be edited. So I'm going to change it. So if I go to the colour wheel at the left-hand side, this is a button. So we're going to have a look at the button there. And there's different styles you can have your buttons in. So this is a style 1, which is like a block style. So for an example, a style 2, can you see there? It's changed, so it's got a transparent background and it's just got the orange send and border around around the button. So I actually quite like that one, style 2, for this website, because I think it looks quite nice and mirrors the logo sort of thing. So I'm going to change this colour though, so I'm just going to change it to black, but you can change it to whatever colour you want. And I'm going to change the size of the font as well. So I'm going to change it to 18, so it's a little bit smaller. And I'm going to change the colour of the font as well. So if I close that and save changes, yeah, so I'm quite happy with that. The only other thing I'd probably put there would be, so the little cross at the bottom, I'm going to add a header a bit like this one. So I'm just going to put in quite simply. Contact us. Save. So again, it's put that in automatically below. We want that at the top, and you've got that there that you move around. It's worth actually mentioning as well, within the sort of the title text, you can change it so it's actually sitting to the left or sitting central. So I can move that to the center there, or I can move that to the left. Right, okay, so how we're doing for time? Not too bad, not too bad. Right, okay, so social media. Is there any more questions around forms? Any?
No one's jumped out with anything. Yeah,
right, great, okay. So social media, not many people these days don't use social media as an extension to showcasing their services or, you know, products. So we've got the most commonly used ones are Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, all of which can be connected to your site. I'm just going to give an example of Facebook and perhaps, oh, there's Twitter. I forgot about Twitter. I'm going to give an example on how you actually link them to your website, and also the options that are available in terms of design for your social media buttons. So I'm just going to scroll up to the top end of the website. Okay, so on the left, where your dashboard is, on the left hand side, you've got a little button here. It's got 2 lines on. If you click on that and scroll down, you can see social media. Yeah, so if you click on that, it gives you the option to add your social media accounts to your website. And I'll explain how I'll explain how this works as the demonstration unfolds. So Facebook, I'm just going to have a look at my Elm Marketing Facebook. Right, okay, so so you can find me on Facebook if anyone wants to follow me and contact me through Facebook. But when you actually bring up your Facebook page, you'll notice at the top end, sorry, at the top, you've got your URL there. All you need to do is highlight that, copy it, and I'm going to go into, yeah. So I'm going to go back into the social media end of your website, and where it says Facebook, I'm going to click on add. And all you need to do is paste your URL into there. It's as simple as that. Right, okay, so it's automatically switched that on. Twitter. So my Twitter tag is Elm_Melanie. So I'm going to go back. I've copied the URL and add that within the Twitter section. Save Twitter. Okay. Now Instagram, you can, if you've got an Instagram page, you can add it, but it is slightly different. The way you need to add your Instagram pages, you need to actually be logged into your Instagram account. And where it says add, once you've logged into your Instagram account, the website will look for whatever Instagram account is open on your laptop, and then it asks if you'll grant it or authorize it to access that account. So it's a slightly different way of doing it, but once it's I'm not going to do it now because I'm linked to quite a few different accounts for my clients, but if anyone has any issues with that, then give me a shout. But it's very self-explanatory. All you need to do is remember to be logged on to your Instagram account, and then when you ask it to add it to your website, it'll just ask to authorize it, and it's as simple as that. And then I'll show you where it'll appear on your account. So at the moment, for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to put on Facebook and LinkedIn. If I go to preview now, can you see on the right hand side there, it's appeared you've got Facebook and Twitter logos there. Now it's quite clever because we can play around with this now. So if you go back to the little side section here and go back into social media, it gives you social media design options here. So if we click on that, okay. So first of all, it asks you where you want the icons to show. it's automatically added it to the side, right-hand side of the window, but you can add it to the contact bar, which is at the top. You can see it, it's appeared there. Scroll along. Or the end of the page menu, so it's added it to the end of the menu bar there. I quite like mine being at the side of the window, and the reason because is when you scroll up and down, it stays there with you on the right hand side. But the nice thing about this design is that you can play around with the design options. So you can have it just like circles, just the little F and the little bird there. So obviously you can see the various options that you've got. It's just really a design preference. I quite like that on the right hand side there. And you can also play around with the colours. So either you can add your brand colours, so you just need to choose your own colour. That's automatically popped in a pink. You could put that orange colour. Can you see it's changed there on the right hand side? Or you can play around with loads of different colours there. Or you can just choose the social network brand colours, so it'll automatically put in the Facebook blue and the Twitter blue there as well. So, and you can play around with the size of it. So that's a really small logo. That's a really, really big one there. I think I'll leave it as that for the time being. But it's quite a nice little feature there. So if you wanted to, if your brand colour was blue or green, you know, you can change it to whatever brand colour that is. And it's just a nice little feature for brand continuity. And again, all you need to do is save that. So if you go into preview mode, so now you've got your social media accounts linked there. And if you had Instagram, you could also have the Instagram button there as well. And if I click on Facebook there, just to prove that it's working, it takes you through to the Marketing Solutions Facebook page. So I'll just close that. Okay, so that's social media. Any questions around social media, everyone?
Nothing's come up just yet, but they may be. Oh, we've just got something, I think. So Karen's just asking, how can you publish blogs across all social media platforms? Ah,
right. Okay, then. Well, there is a blog feature, you need to bear in mind that a blog feature wouldn't be on a one-page website. I'm demonstrating a one-page website, but the reason why I'm demonstrating a one-page website is because if you wanted to create a quick website and you wanted to host it quite economically, you can do that from £6 a month. If you go into like a 5-page website, it's a little bit dearer, which is £16 plus VAT a month. But I'll send everyone a link to what the different hosting packages and the features that are available. In my experience, the hosting packages with Rocket Spark are absolutely second to none. You get unlimited bandwidth with them, unlimited support, and they're constantly updating it because they need to be at the forefront of the game if they are, you know, integrating with the likes of Xero, and they actually integrate with a lot of other cloud-based services like MailChimp. You can integrate your you can have a newsletter so people can sign up via your website and that'll drop into MailChimp. You know, there's loads. I just kind of think I've put on the spot. I kind of think of them on the top of my head. But if you have a look on the Rocket Spark, on the general Rocket Spark website, it'll give you a list of all the applications that it integrates with. It's quite cool, actually. So getting back to...
Well, sorry, Melanie.
Sorry?
Got another question for you as well. That's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've just been asked as well, would you recommend one social media rather than a different one? So I know that's a slightly different question and it kind of stretches away a little bit from the web development, but what's your thoughts on that?
It's a good question, actually. I think it just depends on what sort of product or service business you've got. I know for me personally, I use, because I'm a marketing agency, I tend to use Twitter, LinkedIn and Facebook. A lot of people think that LinkedIn would probably be the best platform for me, but funny enough, actually, I get most of my inquiries through Facebook.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I guess with every sort of business owner has probably got a Facebook account anyway, and I get a lot of my business through referrals on Facebook. Funny enough, I do get some on LinkedIn. Don't get us wrong, but I think for me personally, my experience, Facebook's has worked really well. Some people like to use Instagram more so because they have perhaps a interior design business, so a lot of their services is more image led.
Yes.
I think one there's a couple of things I'm going to mention before I go back to the blog, but it is sort of related. In my opinion, social media is like a net that you can cast out to bring organic footfall to your website. And what I mean about that is that if you actually put something on social media about the product or service that you provide with a link back to your website, people will find themselves on your website. And once they're on your website, you need to have a call to action to encourage them to get in touch.
Yeah.
But I think it's also important to note that a website, it's the sort of the heart of your business, and it works for you 24/7. So if your website isn't up to date, if you're in bed on a night time and someone's looking at your website on a night time and they can't find the product or the service or the information that they need, the chances are they're going to go look somewhere else. So this is one of the things that I'm quite passionate about in terms of people need to understand how the website works and how they can update it, because being a small business owner, your business can change quite quickly overnight. You can add more products, you can add more services, but it's a lot easier to steer than what a bigger business would be. So as your business grows, it's important to understand that you have a website that can grow with your business as well.
Yeah, it's quite a complicated question overall, isn't it?
Yeah, and do you know what? This is my personal opinion from my experience, but getting back to the blog, which is really good for SEO. Now, the way Google works is that they look at websites, and if it's updated on a regular basis, they like that because they know that the website is being looked after by a business that is still going, and it helps with your organic sort of SEO. So if you're adding blogs on there that are getting on your website, which you can share on your social media, it means that if someone likes a blog on the social media, clicks on it, they'll automatically land on your website, and the chances are is that they'll have a look around on your website while they're there. And also in your blog, it's quite, and again, this is completely separate to the website development. It's nice to have like little keywords throughout your blog, or interesting bits where you can put on, for more information about this, and sort of prompt people to have a look at other areas of your website as well. Again, this is just through my experience and what's worked well with my clients. So if anyone's got any further questions about that, then I'm happy to to go over it with them after the webinar. But quite quickly, what I'll do is on the left hand side here again, where the little lines are, if you scroll down, can you see here it says blog? Now I've got it switched off at the moment because it wasn't something I was going to talk about today, but it's quite easy if you just slip that from being from red to green. So that's from being off to on. And then if I go to editor, we haven't put the blog into the menu bar there, so I'm just going to go back down to it this way. I'm just going to take that feature in. Well, I'm not. I'm going to leave it. I'll take it out. I'm going to delete that feature image. Save, remove feature area. So I'm just going to give you a quick example of how easy it is to actually update a blog. So it prompts you, it says, do you want to write a new blog? Yes. So I'm going to click on that. The new post is going to be called How to Write a New Blog. Right, I'm going to save that. And quite simply, save. Right, okay, so I'm going to scroll down, and it's the same principle as adding text in on any other page. It asks you what your blog's going to be about. Do you want to add text in there, a picture? You can add a video, you can upload a file to it. So I'm just going to put in a blog test. Blog test. We could even add just a little picture. The first thing that pops up, which would be that one. Just going to add the logo. I'm going to change things around. So I want the image first and the text below. You can see how easy it is to play around with it. And once you're ready, you can actually make that post live. So all you need to do is just click on make that post live, and then that'll be live for everyone to see. And then if you want to share it, oops. Can you see at the bottom? So it asks, do you want to tweet it? Do you want, this is like the button for Facebook. Do you want to share it on Facebook, or do you want to share it on LinkedIn? So all you need to do is click on one of those buttons, and it automatically brings through the blog to well, in this case, Twitter, but it would do the same for LinkedIn and Facebook too. Again, I'm not going to go into too much detail about this feature, but it's a valid question. It's something that is available, and hopefully I've demonstrated on how easy it is to use. If there's any questions, any further questions around that?
Not specific to that point, but there was one just a little bit on social media, Melanie. Just a question around, would you add your website address on every post on social media?
I would say yes and no. I guess for me personally, and I know when and when not to add my website details. I'm trying to think of an example. So let's have a look.
If you were posting somebody else's content, you know, you were reposting somebody else, obviously.
Yeah. If I'm posting somebody else's content, if I'm wanting someone to look at my website in terms of a service that I provide, I'll maybe just give them a snippet, like a bit of a teaser of information that's available, and say find out more via the website with a link to the website. And do it that way. If I'm just maybe updating something that's happened that particular day with a client, I'm just thinking from personal experience. So I could have went out and visited a client, we've had a really good meeting, took some photos. I would probably obviously just not put my website details on there, but they could find my website from my Facebook page anyway. It just depends on, again, what the post is about. Does that make sense? Yeah.
It does. There's another little question coming as well from Karen, just asking, would you use Hootsuite to publish across all your social media platforms? I
actually do use Hootsuite for some of my clients. I find it really good. It's still a free tool, actually. I've got a couple of free accounts that I use for my clients, but I think it's only free if you've got 3 social media platforms attached to it. But in terms of, yeah, you can do it that way. I mean, to be honest with you, if you're only using Facebook, you can actually schedule a lot of stuff directly from Facebook anyway. But I'd more so use Hootsuite for Twitter and LinkedIn. And of course you kind of, Instagram's more of an instantaneous thing, so you'd have to do that as, you know, in the moment rather than plan in advance.
Yeah,
Does
it can
that
hit
help?
quite a lot, can't it, if you start posting through third party on Instagram?
Yeah. So yeah, I hope that's helped. Again, that's more around social media, and it's actually quite interesting because I can just give you from my point of view, my experience of working with various clients. But I think social media is a bit like a blog in terms it can dramatically help with the SEO. So quickly moving on, I think I've covered a lot of things. What I haven't actually covered very quickly is extra pages and where you need to put, I'll touch a little bit on SEO and keywords, and before I'll demonstrate on how easy it is to go live. At the moment, I'm just obviously demonstrating how to create a one-page website, but the template has actually given me a few ideas of different sort of pages you could have within your menu bar. Within the Rocket Spark website, if you go to the top left hand side again, if you click on that, there's a little second button down, says manage pages. So anything that's green means that page is on and it's on your menu bar, and also anything that's above this line here, can you see that, Stephen, is also what you can see, what you call like within the menu bar. If I was actually to move this bit where it says about below the menu bar, and if I don't want to move home, if I move contact, anything below the menu is now a back page, so it can't be contacted from the menu bar. So at times when you want to use that, it may be when you have a services button, so you click on services and then it might give you some other options, and those other options might be the contact page, in which case it could be your back page. If you wanted to add an additional section to your menu bar, again, it's very self-explanatory. At the top of the page you've got new page name, so I could actually put in here bar service and click on add page. Now, so it disappears from this box at the top. If you scroll down, it's automatically placed it in the bar below because you haven't actually made any updates to it. So just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to switch that to online, and I'm going to move that to above the line, so that if you then go into preview mode, can you see you've got home, bar service, services and news. So you can't actually see the contact section, or what was the other one that I took out? The other one was about. Yeah, but if I was to move the contact section above this line and then preview it again, you've got contact there. So equally, you can go back into the manage page section, and you could swap these pages about in the you know, the way in which they appear. So if you want news, your news would be your blog. You can change the name of that to blog. And preview it again. So you've got home, bar services, sorry, bar service, services, contact, blog. I think that's quite self-explanatory about your pages, but equally it just shows how easy it is to add the extra pages. And of course, once you've added the pages, if I click on bar service, I've got now a blank canvas to actually go in and create, again, my blocks and stacks and more information about that bar service. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
Yeah. Okay then. How are we for time? So it's 1:45. Another thing I want to mention is your keywords and SEO. So I'm assuming that a lot of you know that keywords are words within your business that people are likely to search for when they're on Google. So for instance, for this website, people might search for mixologist, cocktails, bar hire, in which case you would want to try and use those keywords throughout your website as much as possible. I think SEO, I think you'll agree with this, Stephen, SEO and keywords is it's a subject on its own, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. However, to make it quite easy within Rocket Spark, if you notice on the left-hand side here, you've got a little section that says Get Found SEO. And this is quite a cool little section, especially when you, it's basically where you would normally put your meta tags and such like on a WordPress website. So your title tag is going to be the name of your page. So for demonstration purposes, I'm going to put home here. And your description tag, you can put on mixologist. Bar higher. Again, this is just demonstration purposes. Other keywords could be bartender, higher. And what you can do is you can actually view how it would look on Google once your website's live. So I'm just going to put in the company name. So I'm just going to put the mixologist.
Can I ask you a quick question, Melanie?
Yeah.
I'm not sure you'll be able to help on this one, but I'm going to ask it anyway just to try and help Yvonne out.
Is this question from you?
No, it's not from me. Don't worry.
All right.
It's from Yvonne. I've got a couple of questions for you, but I'll save them till later. This is from Yvonne. It's just asking, she just built a new site on the Wix platform, which is ready to go live. It's an old site on a different platform, but she wishes to retain the old address. She understands she needs to do a 301 redirect to link it to the old website address. She's just asking if you could cover that at all.
Yeah, it's actually what would happen is if you, for instance, got your domain name from 123reg, for instance, if you were looking to move website platforms, so if you wanted to create a website on Rocket Spark and you were ready for it to go live, all you would need to do is log into 123reg. And you'd be able to ask the support section within 123reg to repoint your IP address. So what you'll be doing is, at the moment, your IP address will be pointing at your Wix website, and it'll be a certain code. It's only about a 7 or 8 letter code, digit code. But you would get one from Rocket Spark. So you would just change that code so it then stops pointing at your Wix website and points at the Rocket Spark website instead. So you wouldn't even have to start playing around with redirects. It's literally you just go into your domain name provider and go into the DNS settings and change that. Again, that's something I can help with as well. Doesn't take long to do in terms of actually adding the information in, but it could take up to 24 hours for it to move from one to another. But don't worry, it would not cut off your Wix website. All it would do is keep that up and running, and as soon as it's ready to switch over, it would just literally be as quick as me clicking my fingers, it would move to your new website. It's as simple as that. Yeah, does that cover that?
I think so. Yeah, I think she says. I think if I might be wanting to stay on the Wix platform, I'm not sure, but it could well be worth having a chat with her.
Yeah,
you know, if the opportunity.
Yeah, actually, Yvonne, I do know a Wix expert. So if that's something that you might need a little bit help with, then I'm all for. I do understand that everyone's got the preference on what they like to use in terms of websites. So I don't think that everyone's going to think Rocket Spark's the be all and end all. And some people are very precious about WordPress. I do understand that. It's just from my experience of a lot of clients who have moved over to Rocket Spark. I think it's the best thing since sliced bread, because it's just so easy for them they're confident to use it, so therefore they tend to use it a lot more than what would the old style website that they might have had, regardless of what platform that was on.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's that. So we're going to add the company name in here, and if you go into click on here, it's quite a handy little tool. Save your example on Google listing. I'll actually show you what it'll look like. So at the moment it says home, and then it'll say obviously the URL address, and a little bit about mixologist bar hire service. So we can change that based in Durham, covering the northeast. And we can change that to, I'm going to save the company name there and check the Google, right. So you've got the mixologist home, and then you've got the URL address, and it says mixologist bar hire service based in Durham, covering the northeast. So it's a good way of actually controlling what can be seen in Google as far as your website's concerned. And also as well, if you have Google Analytics, you get like an ID tracking code, in which case you would just add it into this little bit and save it, and then you would feed through the analytics to you from the website to your Google Analytics. Does that make sense?
Does make sense? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, if it doesn't make sense, please just shout out. So that's just very quickly running over sort of that section, but I think it's quite self-explanatory. So bar service, you would just type in bar service. And again, you can have a look to see what it looks like on Google listing. So the mixologist bar service, great. And you can put a little bit more, I'll just put bar service for hire and northeast. And view what it looks like again, so you can get an idea of what it's it's sort of, you start telling your little story there and think about the keywords you want to add in there. So that's the SEO. And finally, if you're happy with your website and you're ready for it to go live, all you need to do is go back to the dashboard. The website's offline, and you just click on upgrade now. So when you click on upgrade now, it's very self-explanatory. So it asks, do you want to go live as soon as possible, or do you want to upgrade now and go live later? So you might want to do that because you might think, all right, well, I want to upgrade, but I just want to go through it again before I actually switch the button to go live. So either way, it sort of takes you through various steps. It asks if you have an existing domain. So I'm just going to add in it automatically looks for that URL. Would you like to transfer the domain name to Rocket Spark? It's entirely up to you. If you've already got a domain name with 123reg or any of the other big domain sort of providers, you don't need to transfer really. It's not very often I do transfer over to Rocket Spark, but that's entirely up to you. It just depends. Some people say, oh, I'm not happy with the domain provider, they're not very helpful, in which case can I transfer over to Rocket Spark? The answer is quite simply yes, and they'll just get in touch with the provider and sort of start making the transfer for you. So it gives you a little bit of advice about what's involved with self-managing your domain, which is no different to what you would with 123reg or the like. So I'll just continue there. And it asks you if you want, now this is a good question actually. Do you have any existing email accounts with your current domain name? Some people do. I would say if you've got an existing email account with your current domain name and it's with, for example, 123reg, just leave it where it's at. It's not going to make any difference to the capabilities of your website or how fast your website is. Just leave it where it's at. Sometimes it can start and get quite complicated. Equally, if you haven't got an email address, you can easily set one up through Rocket Spark in terms of tailoring it to your business name. So you could have the Melanie@themixologist.co.uk. In which case, again, it's very self-explanatory. You just follow the steps and it'll show you how to set it up. For demonstration purposes, I'm just going to click on no. And then it takes you through the payment types. Now, because this particular website that I've shown you at the moment has got more than one page, it doesn't give you the one page option. But if you've just got the one page on there, the hosting is £6 plus VAT a month, which isn't very much at all. But still a great platform to be on. But it actually shows you or gives you options of different plans available to you. So if you brochure website or anything without e-commerce, I would just say go for your website builder plan. And it gives you a list of what the features involves. It's quite extensive actually when you scroll down. Sure, there's some more at the bottom there. But also, if you looking to sell online, perhaps it's using Rocket Spark. It's really it is easy to do, but there's a little bit obviously more to explain about adding payment gateways and postage and things like that. So if that falls into your business category and you want to have a word with me, I'm quite happy to have a chat with you. Again, it explains, if you're on an e-commerce platform, it's probably better to go, if you've got more than 10 products, it's probably better for the e-commerce grow plan or the e-commerce pro. I think at the moment I've only got one client who's on the e-commerce pro, but he's got like over 700 products. He's more of a wholesaler, so that is suitable for him. I can't really take you past this little bit, but it is just very self-explanatory. It asks you to put your payment details in. Once you've done that, it gives you a little like sort of celebratory page where it says congratulations, your website's now updated, and it's just a matter of switching it from here. So it is website offline, so then you can switch it online. Again, as I mentioned before, if you have your URL with a different provider in terms of 123reg, all you need to do is log into your 123reg account, look for DNS settings, and that'll be self-explanatory. There's only, I think, probably about 15 people on this webinar, which if you wanted individual help to make your Rocket Spark website live, get in touch with us. I'll quite happily do it free of charge for you, and I'll walk you through the steps that you need to do to get your old website URL swapped over to your new Rocket Spark website. Does that make sense?
It definitely does to me. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. Any questions?
Any other questions, guys? I think we've covered everything up to this point. I just had a quick question I wanted to kind of throw in at you, if that's all right, Melanie.
Just throw it.
Yeah, so it's probably a little bit of an unfair one, but I thought I was going to ask anyway.
Go on.
So I'm a little bit familiar with the likes of Wix and Squarespace. Why would you choose Rocket Spark over those? What do you think is the kind of the primary advantage for that over some of the other website builders?
I'm just going to really go by from what my clients have told me. It's usability, on how easy and quite the Rocket Spark slogan is beautiful, simple websites, and I think that just encompasses what they are. They've been designed for the end user in mind, and they prompt you all the way through the design service. The reason people come to me for rather than design it themselves is because they probably have a play around with it, and they can do the basics on their own, but then having a website designer with like more design and branding and marketing knowledge behind them has obviously got the advantages. Or some people have just quite simply too busy to be doing it on their own, in which case they need help initially designing it, but then I offer like a training service after it. Now I do know that there is say Squarespace and Wix professionals out there that offer a similar service to what I do with Rocket Spark. I'm not going to slate them, because you know, there's nothing wrong with them. However, I would say the advantage, certainly the advantage that I've found with Rocket Spark is more so if you've got an e-commerce website and you're using the likes of Zero, which a lot of people are using these days, is it's more about efficiencies. And in terms of if you are selling a product online, invoice automatically drops through, is created and drops through into your Zero platform, so that you're not creating invoices from scratch, and it'll show that it's being paid by the website, and a copy of that is automatically sent to the purchaser through the website as well. I think I've probably covered that on there. All I would say as well, actually, is like I say, I know that Rocket Spark's not the only one out there, and have a look at what compare them yourself, because everyone will have different opinions on different comparisons relating to their business. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's not one size fits all. But I know clients who come from either a Wix, a Yell, WordPress site who now uses Rocket Spark, and they wouldn't go back.
So that's really interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. And like I say, I mean, if you do a little bit of research on them, they're an award-winning platform. They are more commonly known throughout the accountancy industry, and they are becoming more and more well known within the UK. But again, you know, I know people who are very, very particular in the love WordPress, in which case I would say stick to what you love. But if you don't know a website platform at all, and you're looking for something that is simple to use, self-explanatory, you can grow with your business. It links with a lot of different external cloud-based platforms like MailChimp, and I'm trying to think of more. There's a one called Lay-By, which is really good. That's a new one where if someone's purchasing online, they can opt to purchase it over six weekly payments. So the way I explain that is, if I buy an expensive handbag online and it's say £200, I don't want my husband to know I'm paid £200. I can split it into 6 weeks, so he just thinks I'm paying 6 smaller monthly weekly payments, and he doesn't actually see on the that it's a £200 handbag. So that's really good. But have a look at all the different ones. It links with Google Analytics. It links with like I say, loads of different social media platforms.
I think most of the builders have got their own free trials, haven't they? So it's
on
a few of them and just seeing which one kind of fits within what you might be looking for.
Yeah, exactly. I think in particular, some of the feedback I've had for clients is being how easy is it to upload images, and they found the how that just so easy, and they love the design options in terms of how you can zoom in and out and change the size of it. You can actually, you know, I haven't played around too much with it, but you can actually change the image so that it's like in a circle rather than a square. And also it's the video facility as well, how easy it is to stream a video to your website as well. The blog functionality is definitely a bonus. It's very easy to use and quite quick to update. Again, just going back to the Rocket Spark slogan, it's a beautiful, simple website platform, and it's certainly not simple as in basic. It's got all the functionalities there, but it's been designed with the end user in mind, because a lot of business owners are actually good at what they do, but they're not a web designer and they're not a coder. So I would say that's certainly an advantage.
Yes, we've got a couple of other questions I think come in as well for you, Melanie. So I think Anne might have answered this one quite well as well, to be fair. I kind of agree with it. But Karen was just asking, where would you recommend putting the T's and C's on a website? And Anne's suggestion was to put it at the base of the website. Yeah,
it's a good question. What I usually do is, actually, I'm going to bring up a client's website. Let's have a look. Right, okay, so this is quite a recent one that's gone live for Jan Cook Wills of Trusts. And what we've done is we've added at the bottom of her page, or maybe we haven't, or she's changed it. there's a privacy policy, but I would normally put it here.
In the footer,
in the footer. So basically, you put it in the footer and link it to a back page. So what I mean by that is, can you remember when I was showing you the manage pages section?
Yes.
And anything below the line would be classed as a back page. So that about section I could change to say T's and C's.
Yep.
And save it. So if you go to editor and you go to the front page, so the T's and C's, there's nothing there, but if you scroll down, we can add it in, say the footer bar. So just going to remove this bit. Add put terms. Now, if you highlight that, you can see the little link there. Little link tab, if you click on that, insert a link. We want to select a page. So we've got T's and C's there. So if you insert and save it, and click on that, it would take you through to the terms and conditions back page that we haven't obviously got there, but I hope that makes sense. Yeah, if you've got any further questions around that, like I say, actually it's worth mentioning that my email address is melanie@almarketingsolutions.co.uk, and if anyone wants to email me for some further information or even have a half an hour one-on-one chat with any questions that you have specifically to your business, I'm quite happy to get something scheduled in and we can have a chat a little bit more, like I say, about your personal business circumstances and what you'd be looking for in a website.
Fabulous. David agrees with you. He says Rocket Spark is excellent. Been using it for 18 months. So easy to update and save so much time. Does exactly what we need.
Thanks, David.
I think one final question from Ben is just, are there any tools available for non-designers that enable you to mock up a simple logo quickly?
Yeah, there is actually, and I think I was talking to either yourself, Stephen, or Paul about this earlier. Canva's a free sort of creative design tool. It's cloud-based. Have a look at it. There's a free version which gives you lots of tools of create an invoice, not an invoice, a logo. And I think that's probably, you don't need anything more than the free version unless you start using it more often for creating, say, adverts on your Facebook, on your social media, in which case the paid for version, which I think is only about £10 a month, is quite handy because you get a load of free images and other design features with that. But certainly have a look at canva.com.
Yeah, it's a fantastic tool. We do recommend that. We use it all the time. And a lot of experts within the field, like yourself, Melanie, recommend it a lot.
Yeah. So, well, actually, that mixologist logo, I actually didn't create it. I got that off Canva, and it was an example logo that I just downloaded for demonstration purposes for today. But they've got loads of different design options as templates, so you could change that and put, instead of the mixologist, you could put on the northeast bar or digital drive, you know what I mean? It gives you the option to change it, and it's really a good little tool to have.
It really is fantastic. That's great. I think we're done on the question side of things. That's fabulous. Thank you very much, Melanie.
Great. Yes, thanks for having us, everyone, and hopefully I might speak to you, or our paths might cross soon. But feel free to link in with me on LinkedIn or follow me on Facebook, and do keep in touch.
Fabulous. Can I ask you to just drop the host privileges back